Good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to the second edition of News Tonight. My name is Micheal Lukomwa, joined by Elizabeth Nakakoni, our sign language interpreter. July 1st is the start of the 2024-25 financial year, yet clarity of its launch eludes the public due to President Museveni's return of the appropriations bill to Parliament. This move questions reallocations made during the budget's initial passing on the 16th of May. We have details to this.
I am the one who originated the Budget Act with the support of the committee that I was chairing at the time, the National Economic Committee.
Former Minister of State for Finance in charge of planning, Honorable Isaac Isanga Musumba, recounted the rationale behind enacting the Budget Act of 2001.
The government would prepare the budget speech would be unveiled that day. Nobody had an idea of what the government would say. Similarly, the appropriation bill would also be unveiled when there is only one day to the closure of government spending. So the Parliament was, as it were, forced to quickly react and pass the appropriation bill, because the argument was, if you don't pass it today, tomorrow the government will shut down.
Its purpose was to ensure Parliament could thoroughly scrutinize national budgets before their submission to the head of state. The Act aimed to establish and regulate a systematic and efficient budgetary process, among other connected matters. However, the law's efficacy waned between 2011 and 2016, with some of its provisions merged into the Public Finance Management Act.
First of all, under the current laws and procedures of Parliament, a bill can be sent back. If the Parliament refuses to listen to what the President wants, the bill will go back to the President, and the President will send it back. And if they still don't listen to what the President wants, the bill will become law.
Honorable Musumba pointed out that the current situation, where the President has returned the budget to Parliament, reflects the absence of the Budget Act, which previously delineated clear roles and responsibilities for each branch of government.
Two things. This is a small matter. The government will overcome it. The Parliament is going to sit and do what the President wants. But looking further afield, it is apparent that we need to revisit this relationship. And we need a law.
Despite the delay in passing the national budget, the government is expected to fulfill its obligations. The public eagerly anticipates the outcome of the parliamentary session on July 2nd, 2024. Wadulo Mark and
led presentation of vital documents affecting the budget process as Parliament reconvenes on the 2nd of July 2024 to reconsider the appropriation bill of 2024 returned by the President. Concerns arise over delayed budget documentation from the executive. This recurring issue impacts parliamentary scrutiny and decision-making.
It has always been a concern as to why the executive presents vital documents to defend the national budget in Parliament at the last hour. In 2023, when Parliament was processing the budget for financial year 2023-2024, a corrigendum appeared in the last minute during appropriation.
And this definitely affects our duty to appropriate, because we don't just appropriate, we can't just appropriate what we have not appreciated, what we have not understood. I think the reasons for delaying deliberate and the amend it failed our duty to appropriate as members of Parliament.
The Speaker, Anita Among, described the move as being controlled by an invisible hand.
When we continue holding this budget estimate, so many things come in between. So many.
So for the Speaker to say that some mercenaries have entered into the budget process, then the same mercenaries will enter into implementation, and implementation is going to be very difficult.
The financial year 2023-2024 budget process were blamed by the MPs for making changes in the already finished appropriated budget.
To me, it is very unfortunate And it indicates that since there is a lot of corrigenders and changes here and there in the process, it is a sign that the implementation is going to be very difficult.
These changes are coming so suddenly at very short notice, so that when we are debating on the floor of the House, not everybody gets a chance to speak. So it means some of the things will go.
A section of MPs think that such late-hour budget processes decrease and confuse scrutiny of the budget, and some elements like the controversial recent service awards find ways in the final budget. In the budget process for financial year 2024-2025, the Minister of State for Finance, General Duties Henry Musasizi, presented a corrigendum to the budget on the final day of 16th May 2024 as Parliament convened to pass the appropriation bill. The usual drama was revisited as the Speaker sent the corrigendum to the Budget Committee and the House first dwelled on the tax bills. The MPs still cited little time given to debate the contents in the bills and budget.
But my biggest problem and disappointment is that we passed the bills without adequate debate to understand each other.
These developments leave no doubt as to why the President returned the Appropriation Bill 2024 after citing that some funds to the tune of 750 billion shillings were reallocated by Parliament without following formal budget procedure. Parliament will on Tuesday 2nd July 2024 reconsider the Appropriation Bill as returned by the President in a highly anticipated deliberation where the House will question the guidance of the Attorney General during the budget process.
There is a provision on how the President of Uganda can now approve just a third of the money, about for 4 months, and start the programs of government so that they don't get paralyzed as they sort out the budget.
Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
The Chinese embassy in Uganda is stuck with over 300 passports that have been not picked by visa applicants for over 2 years.
Over 300 passports are being kept at the Chinese embassy due to the reluctance of the individuals that applied for the passports to pick them up alongside their visas. This has prompted the embassy to cancel the visas and passports handed over to the Uganda Immigration's office.
Some of these are the old regime passports. I think when people applied, this is way last year, these ones. Visas were issued, but of course we have phased these passports out. So I think Ugandans just gave them out and forgot about them.
The Immigration's office is calling upon all those that had applied for China visas to pick up their passports at no cost.
But it is important that they pick their passports because this is their property. They belong to them, and even at the process of applying for a new passport, you'll be required to produce an old passport. So it is important that Ugandans who applied, paid, and their visas processed at the Chinese embassy especially, should be able to come and really pick their passports. A document once processed remains yours because it has your details, it has your names, it has all information related to you. So I call upon those Ugandans to report to my office and pick these passports.
On the other hand, proprietors of labor export companies withholding people's passports are directed to hand them over to their rightful owners. Some of these companies are said to have collapsed without clear current location.
People in the UAE, that is United Arab Emirates, were finding difficulties in applying for passports and also scheduling appointments.
These labor export companies have a tendency of withholding people's documents, including national IDs and passports, while blackmailing these individuals to pay large sums of money. Patricia Nandago and Abdul Nasir Lukomwa for UBC.
National Identification Registrations Authority will start incorporating iris in capturing biometric data for people registering to acquire national IDs. The ED NIRA, Rosemary Kisembo, says that they had 1 million people in the register that did not satisfy their fingerprint, but the authority also uses face to capture the biodata.
Officials from National Identification Registrations Authority NIRA have appeared before the Parliamentary Committee on Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises to answer queries of the Auditor General report for the financial year 2022-2023. The report shows that NIRA budgeted to collect 15 billion shillings in non-taxable revenue. However, by the end of the year, only 7 billion shillings had been collected, a 47% performance. The Executive Director NIRA, Rosemary Kisembo, attributed this underperformance to failure to commence alien registration, which was expected to raise up to 7.96 billion shillings.
Generate an alien identification number, but the template for printing the ID, that one was not left behind. So it's the ID that has a cost of $100. Not generate a card with the alien template. He left only one template for the Uganda citizen ID.
They also interrogated the process of procurement of the technology to do the alien registration, discovering a joint venture agreement to do security printing.
It's Uganda in the joint venture.
The UPPC, there are three parties. UPPC, Office of the President, and Minister of Finance. Three parties.
Under what law does the Office of the President become a body corporate?
The relationship between that one which you said the contract was expired and the new one. You know, even the directors, that's why I'm not disclosing them.
The directors of the, I have no idea about that. I don't
know it, but it is not commonplace for security printing intellectual property to be surrendered, especially involving biometrics.
Other MPs were interested in the query on the 5.7 billion administration fee and license and the 1.3 billion for selling goods and services.
You will see that under administrative fees and licenses, they have brought it as a block figure, which is 7 billion and 38. So please, we need clarification on that.
And when you go
administrative fees and licenses, when you look at our categorization of the non-tax revenue, these are the actual fees that are paid for the access of our services. For example, if you are doing a change of particulars, if you are...
On non-financials, MPs wanted to know why IDs take a lot of time to be processed, the machines refusing thumbnails of some people, and how people acquire forged IDs.
Gentlemen who are in construction, like a cement, destroy their fingerprints, those people cannot access national IDs.
The people wait for a national ID 3 to 6 months. How prepared are you that we can beat the deadline for mass enrollment in preparation for the registration and final elections?
Loopholes, those ones giving the ID. That's why you may have forgery IDs and you fail to get the passports. Could you tell us where are the loopholes? Where do you find the problem?
NIRA officials told members of parliament that the exercise of registration has to be repeated every after 10 years because material used to do the IDs wear off.
Given by the ICAO standard is because of the wear and tear of the materials that are used to make the national ID, and also the changing facial features of the card holder and the biometrics.
We are 3 months behind projections for beginning of mass enrollment. We are supposed to begin the enrollment process on June 1st. We hope to start by the end of July or beginning of August. We had several delays. One of them was the money.
These have been told to return to the committee with particulars of directors of companies involved in the procurement of the technology for the alien registration and also look through their financials. I'm Nafka Farida and Gloria Gwitabinji at Parliament.
Police Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety has cautioned managers of different teams of the Masazaga Uganda tournament over the violation of traffic rules and regulations. The warning comes after a fatal accident that occurred over the weekend in Butambala and claimed 2 lives.
On 23rd to 29th June 2024, 86 people died and 380 sustained injuries. 2 people died and several others injured in a single fatal crash that occurred last night on the 30th of June 2024 at Kayenje roundabout along Mpigi, Gomba in Butambala district at about 1900 hours. The crash involved motor vehicle registration number UBK 432M, a Toyota Hiace. The said motor vehicle was from Gomba to Mpigi while carrying football supporters from Gomba after a match between Gomba and Chagwe. The same vehicle reaching at Kayenje roundabout, the driver failed to negotiate the roundabout due to speed, lost control, overturned, killed 2 people instantly and injured several others. At Muduma Hill from Metiana facing Kampala, which had clearly put the triangular reflectors, then motor vehicle UBP 465Q, a Toyota Hiace drone taxi, while from Metiana to Kampala, attempted to overtake the broken down vehicle at a time when there was an oncoming school van, UAX 465Q, Toyota Hiace. And in fear of head-on collision, he swerved to the fossil truck side, hence ramming into it, which left 4 lives dead and 10 others injured, and who were all occupants of the Toyota Hiace drone taxi.
Failure of lead agencies to supervise wetlands and reserved areas alongside neglecting human rights in environmental contexts seems to have sparked conflict between human activities and natural resources. Councils say sensitization is required to avoid encroachment on wetlands and other reserved places.
To protect wetlands and other reserved places under the National Management Environment Act of 2019, it's the mandate of the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA. But most supervisory roles of environment is mandated by the lead agents. Section 11 of the National Management Environment Act of 2019 stipulates laws of agents that include plan, regulate, and manage the segment of environment, carry out strategic environment assessment, and to ensure that any activity undertaken in its area of jurisdiction is in compliance with the Act, among other rules.
Now, when you look at this committee's composition, it has people from the mayor, it has people from the planning authority, it has the cows, it has all these people that form the base of our local communities or our local government. We have what we call the Physical Planning Act. It's a national act and it declares the entire Uganda and a planning zone. That means there's nowhere in this country where you should set up any infrastructure without the approval of those local authorities.
But when NEMA resumes operations of evicting people in wetlands, there has been mixed reactions from the public.
For someone to undertake activities in the swamp, it's not that they're hiding some money under a shoe, under the rocks. You see them from the get-go. Who's monitoring these activities? By the time you see a vice cropping up slowly by slowly, you must undertake a remedial action.
The problem is actually not that people do not know. The reason I say so is that people actually come to backfill wetlands at night in hiding. That tells you that they already know what they are doing is bad.
Because this is a matter of life and death for
this part of the world. Rain, water for irrigation, the wetland resources, and okujejana to filter.
To conserve wetlands, government on 2nd September 2021 stopped issuing permits and certificates for any operation in wetlands.
Only people I had offered to help were some few people in Busoga, a few also in Ukedi and in Kigezi, because those ones, but few, not many, because those ones had been misled by the colonial government to go in the swamps.
Although NEMA has been evicting encroachers on wetland and reserve places, there are some activities which are permitted by NEMA in wetland and reserve places.
Like fish farming, for example, sustainable harvesting of papyrus, tourism and recreation activities like birding, usage of wetland to supply water for irrigation. We call for peaceful evacuation of people in wetlands. That's why we give them notices to say we intend to come and remove you.
If you come to my farms in Chisos, you will see the very blue water in River Chibimba, water which is very blue, because we don't interfere with the wetlands, we protect them.
At times there is need to observe human rights.
Part of those rights is their right on property, which is their right on land. And land includes everything that is on that land, permanent structure, so a house is part of your land, so you have a right on that property. By the time the authority approves you to put up a structure in that area, and yet the same authority has a parallel duty to protect those areas, that's where the problem comes from.
The biggest problem overall has been population explosion, and the population comes along with needs for industrialization, for agriculture, for settlement, for urbanization, name it. All of these factors that are responsible for the pressure we continue to see on our wetlands.
But in areas where National Environment Management Authority NEMA has not gazetted a wetland, how can one tell that this is a wetland?
A wetland is that place which is seasonally or permanently flooded by water. And because of this seasonal or permanent flooding, certain types of plants have established themselves there in adapting to those wet conditions. Example, sage grass, papyrus, perhaps that's the most common. You can also tell a wetland by looking at elevation profile, another height. So a wetland will not be in a mountain.
Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
Rotary District has completed its poverty eradication awareness campaign across all the 15 sub-counties and town councils. The woman MP Helen Adoa highlighted that these engagements aim to promote accountability for parish development model funds.
The conclusion of Rotary District's first season of public engagements aimed at raising awareness and ensuring accountability for parish development model funds. The campaign covered all 15 sub-counties, concluding at Ochapa Town Council.
Akironwa chalani, akironwa iduku, akironwa carpentry, keda ishena kinies. Akotonga ilipi wodi nilu, indu mutesa pak, olototo anyute poli pisere chuchuta neore angmodo, antumuna kalu, tetera jipira ngarakini, akironwa ipita kokoro, keni pege.
Government officials, including State Minister Helen Adoa, emphasized the fight against poverty.
And now these people who have also come with banks and the money lenders are making us more poor because they make us sign and say we have sold our houses with high interest rate.
All the time you are working for your stomach. When you are hungry and you eat, you sleep. Maybe the next thing you do is taking adjournal. He wants you to work and earn some money in the pocket. That is why he came up with a new program called the Parish Development Model.
Minister Balam advised youth on the dangers of substance abuse.
You are doing a lot of sports betting. Do you do sports betting?
I don't.
You don't do sports betting?
Yes.
So many of you waste a lot of money in sports betting. Sports betting is a game for the rich, not for the poor. So you be careful.
Having covered all the 15 sub-counties successfully, the focus now is on consolidating achievements.
I and Toto Minister are ready to work hard to make sure that people of Serere come out of poverty. We shall all prosper in Serere.
Through these barasas, I have got to know so many things. One, it has helped us to fight corruption in Rotary District. Secondly, it has helped people to get to know things that they didn't know before. They didn't know government has been giving them a lot of money.
Public engagements in Rotary District began in 2022 after the official launch of the Parish Development Model. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The Congolese community in Uganda has joined the rest of the country in the mainland, the DRC, to mark the country's 64th independence celebrations. The community prayed for peace and welcomed Uganda's refugee policy.
The Congolese community in Uganda have celebrated the 64th Independence Day for the mainland Democratic Republic of Congo. Under the theme, Stronger We Stand, the celebrations aimed at fundraising funds and standing for all displaced people and victims of war which is ongoing in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo.
The reason we are celebrating today, we are collecting money, and that money we shall go to support our people who are suffering where they are here in Uganda. That's why we wanted to do this business and collect some small money and support our people where they are.
Today is the big day for my country. Now it's like 64 years the independence for my country. Just I'm happy. I invite all people, Bagandan, if you are Mugandan, welcome. Rwandese, welcome.
The Congolese also appreciated Uganda's policy for welcoming refugees and thanked Uganda's government for conducive environment and prayed for peace to return in DRC.
You come to taste. We are celebrating that Independence Day. Thank you, Uganda. The Uganda, they are good people. They support us because we are another people. They are refugees here. Uganda is support us. Uganda, oh, thank you, Uganda.
We want peace. We want peace. We ask government to Congo, government to Uganda, government to Rwanda, Burundi. We sit in the table. We want peace. Peace. Our country wants peace.
The event saw Congolese celebrate their cultures, traditions, and values through music, performance, food, art, and craft.
Sing more. Today I am celebrating the culture of Congo. I am here to celebrate with all these other people, their culture, the food, the language, and it's all just about love and how much we have cohesion together.
That one is kwanga. Kwanga is nice. It's cassava like mogo. For us, we make like this. You cook like this. It's very nice. You can taste Congolese food.
Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Some clans in Lango have banned sale of all customary owned land. The decision was arrived at to reduce escalating cases of land-related disputes.
Land, one of the most appreciating assets, remain a very lethal matter. Land-related disputes is existent at individual, family, and clan levels, while other conflicts have also taken an ethnic dimension. Population growth and demand for land for cultivation and other human activities have led to increased pressure on available land.
And this is translating into a lot of fighting, a lot of
domestic violence. Brothers and sisters are fighting against each other.
A 2020 report by Hague Institute of Innovation of Law titled Deep Dive into Land Injustice in Uganda indicated that 1 in every 4 Ugandans experience land-related injustice, with the vulnerable groups experiencing several consequences. Police say a number of criminal cases reported originates from land dispute.
So it's really not very good. So as police, we are trying, above all, we get support. We have seen Redeemed International. They have come on board and they have been working with us, particularly on issues relating to land, how the widows are suffering, how the children are suffering, and they've been closely working with us.
In my court, in the High Court.
According to records, over 2,800 cases are before Lira High Court, majority of which are land-related. The resident judge, Justice Duncan Gaswaga, is considering using the cultural leaders to handle land issues to reduce on the case backlogs.
I have already spoken to the concerned authorities, and the Chief Justice will be coming here one of these days. He will come here to interact with these leaders, because we want to train them as mediators. And particularly, we want to target land cases.
This comes at a time when the leadership of Inomo clan, one of the most populated clans in Lango, have come out to ban sale of customary lands.
There's nothing they gain. Even during the burial, they don't give a decent send-off. Should you go behind the law, there is a penalty where you are supposed to pay 500,000, and the leadership must come and take back that land. So this person who buys forfeit.
There is no land for sale. All this land are supposed to be leased, but people play around on the ignorance of the youth and some other cultural leaders who need money, and that is what is increasing the high number of street kids, basically in Lira, because their fathers have sold the land. They were produced in town here. They have nowhere to go. They have nowhere to sleep. The only bad thing they have to do is to result into becoming street kids and street gangs and street boys, and that's why the level of criminality is going high.
Legally, whereas I know customary laws which are aligned to the constitution are acceptable, but this particular issue, it is very difficult.
But the clans insist the move is constitutional.
Because the constitution says if it is a matrimonial property or custom or family land, the constitution requires that a spouse must consent. Doesn't require the clan to what? To consent. As far as the Constitutional Land Act is concerned, it is willing buyer, willing seller.
We don't allow. No, there is no customary land. I would repeat, there is no customary land for sale. You only hire or lease the land from the clan. I dug where my grandfather dug and left it to my father. Now my father is 92 years. He cannot dig. All that land he has been digging is for me. After me, my children will go and cultivate. After my children, so the offspring, it's generation to generation.
Of course, there are prohibition to land sale, and clan is not one of them. Those who are willing to abide by the clan resolution, it is okay.
To address the complexities, Inomo clan has joined government and civil society organizations to empower their lower leaders on land governance and administration systems.
So we have taken the opportunity to talk to these leaders so that they start playing their roles accordingly, because there is a lot at stake. There's a lot that they should do to address these issues.
Before colonialism, no single land tenure system existed, as land was governed by customary laws. Today, the 1995 Constitution recognizes 4 land tenure systems, including Milo, leasehold, freehold, and customary land tenure system, to which over 70% of land in Uganda falls.
For the law provides that for customary land, you give certificates of customary ownership. These are owned by individuals, by families, even clans. The challenge that we are finding is that we need to fully implement the Land Act, establishment of customary land registries at the sub-county. And as we speak now, these are not yet constructed in all sub-counties.
Ediolwa, UBC News.
The RDC Katakwi, Major Godfrey Katamba, has advised residents to embrace the prevailing peace in the Teso and Karamoja sub-regions for development.
The parish development model injected 17 billion shillings into Katakwi district last financial year to transform residents' socio-economic livelihoods.
But the fact that there is a peace brought by this government, I think it is something not to take for granted, because you know the history of Teso with the Kejong.
Katakwi residents, District Commissioner Major Godfrey Katamba wants area communities to embrace government programs such as Bonabagagawale, the Youth Lively Program and the Uganda Women Entrepreneurship Program. Others are Emyoga, the parish development model, and micro-irrigation projects to reinforce their socio-economic development.
That, in addition to peace, there are many programs that have been brought, not only in Katakwi, but elsewhere. And I'm told Juliet, you work from Ministry of Labor and Social Development. Please make sure our grow money comes quickly so that we give it to women. Women of Katakwi, we train them.
This was during a culture event at the home of engineer George William Opas and Juliet Ijoku in Arimareng village, Aleles Parish, Katakwi district.
We have to have trust. You trust in your, as a couple, you have to have mutual trust. Sort of that, then also the family cannot stand. The last one is forgiveness.
He encouraged residents to enhance their culture by embracing family values. Major Katamba noted that Katakwi has witnessed several developments through deliberate government efforts aimed at promoting socio-economic development in the area. Engineer Opas praised Major Katamba and the local leadership.
The newly appointed district governor of Rotary District 9213, Anne Nkutu, has outlined her priorities for the upcoming Rotary year, focusing on environmental sustainability and youth leadership.
It's crucial to embed environmental considerations in our Rotary initiatives, ensuring the vitality of our clubs.
In this age and day that we live, we are going to leverage technology. We are doing a lot of automation, and we're moving, like the rest of the world, to a paperless era. And we intend to do that not just in our administration, but also in our finances, and even in our own Rotary meeting.
Environmental compliance and succession planning with young leaders are vital for sustained leadership.
And so we are also going to look at how do we promote the value that Rotary gives to its members, to ensure that we have a continuous supply of members who see value in what we do, but also derive value from being part of Rotary. And finally, as part still of sustainability, is to look at the projects that we do. The governor has mentioned all the things that we do. We want to focus more and more in addressing the most challenging needs in our society, but to also work with other partners, corporate organizations, so that we are able to do more. Because when we have, more people joining hands, then we have more resources and we'll have more impact in the communities.
Our Boy Child Uplifting Program received commendation despite challenges.
So I want to thank all the female Rotarians in this 913 for embracing the boy child, for realizing that the boy child needs support, and also for realizing that a good girl child deserves a good boy child. The project has been a success. We have been working with all the religious leaders in this country, but also 3 months back we were invited by Ministry of Education, the Permanent Secretary, and they want to work with us to ensure that they work with us, because for them they believe we have a platform and we already started on something, so they want to work with us so that the boy child is being supported. The Ministry of Education, Mama Jan 7, also applauded the boy child uplifting program and realized that the boy child needs support. So all in all, it has been a great success. And again, I want to thank all the Rotarians, I want to thank all the clubs, this 91 through, for embracing the boy child.
District 9213 exceeded the Rotary Foundation's fundraising target, reaching $600,000 against a $400,000.
In response to the Ministry of Education and Sports call, the Uganda National Students Association organized the debate, poetry and public speech tournament for the Central Region to equip learners with essential life skills.
The Uganda National Students Association Central Region Debate, Poetry and Public Speaking Tournament this year was held at Bombo Ame Secondary School on the theme Amplification of Students' Voice Towards Attainment of Sustainable Development Goals.
I think that this competition is important. I know that it is important because I've gained a lot of skills through practicing just to come for these competitions. And also just being here is just a great accomplishment itself. I'm sad because I made it up to finals.
We have moved very many districts to scout talent that is going to participate in the nationals. We have been training these people, we have trained patrons, we have trained judges. We can assure you that this tournament is going to be a success.
Students participated in debating, public speaking and poetry.
I see the Navagarika Foundation, which is in charge of taking care of girls that cannot afford education. Now, we also have the Kabaka's Run that contributes to the HIV/AIDS citizens. This is why we're choosing in a kingdom like Buganda. We see that from its eve, Buganda.
Chibuli SS's student Nanozi Hanifa emerged the best debater in the region. Ndeje SS's Taira Matembe was the best in public speaking, as Sebukalu Douglas Taylor of Bombo Ame SS was the best poet. The organizers of this tournament addressed their observations.
We started this championship with the purpose of nurturing the young people. We want young people to come up and express themselves, let them come and engage, and also to come and bring up the future leaders. We are
seeing on a number of key strategic SDGs such as quality education, that is SDG 4. We're looking at things like zero poverty and of course partnerships within the students' circles or spaces. We have had such a very, very fruitful journey, and so as we head towards the climax of the district.
Participants shared their experience with UBC.
It has been quite a good experience, both intellectually and socially. Gotten to interact with many people from different schools.
I learned a lot because these competitions have made me exposed and improved on my publicity in English and some other things like confidence.
Over 30 schools participated in this tournament. Benon Mokwaya reporting from Luwero.
Minister, we thank you so much for watching. We're going to take a very short break. On return, we have more. Please keep it with us.
Amanya gange nze Namtebi Sharon nga nkolera wano wennyini Saka Kirombe oba Makindye. Empangula gye nawanguddemu ssente mbadde nga nkozesa mobile money nga nsindika school fees w'omwana ku ssomero. Okutegeera nti mpangudde, nze mutima neegambye nti kambalinde bamale okujja ndyoke nzikirize nti mpangudde. Kyennyinza okubagamba nti si byabafere, weewaawo abafere gye bali, naye ennamba eri emu yokka era bw'eba ekukubidde omanye eyo si yabafere. Mpulira bulungi nnyo 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 era ndi musanyufu nnyo. Naye MTN mobile money mbebaza nnyo, mwebale nnyo, mwebalire.
Together we're unstoppable.
Gold. We all want it. That soft yellow glow of a subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but to taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold.
Thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. It's Business News Tonight. Minister of State for Foreign Affairs in charge of regional affairs, John Mulimba, has ordered the Wagagai Gold Mining Company Limited, owned by the Chinese, to meet all the social corporate responsibility as guided by the Mining Act. We have details to this.
The chairperson for LC2 Buteba Sub-County, Egesa Emma Educhi, urged the company to ensure that the residents benefit from it. Ngolobe Jime, the Busia District Environmental Officer, says that it's true water sources have dried up.
One, we've seen boreholes dry due to the fact that they are drilling far beyond where these boreholes are drawing water from. And then we are looking at how best can we resolve this by having now piped water, and this has to be in the form of corporate social responsibility.
They have agreed, and first of all, they are very apologetic for the mishaps and the flaws on their part in respect of their obligations. The Wananchi are also willing to wait upon them to restore the environment, restore water, share with them some of the development aspects like electricity and so on. So generally what we are looking for is good relationship between the gold mining company and Wananchi.
Mugeni Stephen Wasike, commonly known as Entongolo, LC5 Busia District, says that environmental issues must be addressed.
Central government and local government with the mining company Wagagai, because there were several complaints the way the mining company was handling the community and the environment. So the community felt that it was being mistreated, and which is true, because you don't come and surround somebody's land. He has nowhere he goes, and like you force him, either he surrenders the land or not. Then you also don't do blasting and the people's houses crack and you are doing nothing.
Adam Wanga, the company sales manager in charge of community, apologized for eventualities and promised that his company will handle the issues raised by the community.
The East Africa Grain Council has hosted its 12th annual Agribusiness Expo at the Masindi Demonstration Center, focusing on sustainability of food systems and climate-smart agriculture for inclusive trade and wealth creation.
Farmers are able to get this good variety and grow and produce on already on contracts, whereas farmers who grow maize, they get stuck, there is no buyer.
The expo featured crop and livestock demonstration units, an exhibition arena, machinery displays and farmers training sessions. Advanced agricultural technologies were to boost productivity and sustainability.
tukabyala ebikeijo sente zigenda kufeerayo ababyala ebicooli timugenda kukungula dore ebicooli kabiri bire bitalina science bete birina science mu kubirora bikuzoka mpolampola ati bakutugamba turuge mu bicooli tulime obuwemba guno mwemba abantu bagugura omugusa aba Nairobi Breweries bagura omugusa bagura final solution is buli mu Uganda byaro omuti.
Demonstrations included irrigation systems to optimize water usage, mechanization to reduce labor-intensive tasks, and improved seed varieties resistant to pests and adaptable to climate change.
EAGC plays a key role in the promotion of a structured grain trading system facilitated through organizing farmers in 2 grain business hubs, the G-hubs. We offer valuable market information systems via the Regional Agricultural Trade Intelligence Network platform.
Fund for Africa Rural Climate Adaptation Finance Mechanism is for farmers to be able to withstand the changes in the weather patterns that have occurred, to be able to adapt to the changes in the climate and be more resilient.
Advancements in animal nutrition emphasized balanced diets for better livestock health and productivity. 32 companies exhibited, offering climate-smart technologies.
These expos do spread all over the country and regionally as well, because while we are here, we're also being covered in the Nairobi area in Tanzania, in Burundi and in Rwanda. Promote agriculture in the region. It's not just for Bunyoro region or Masindi, but it is for the whole country. So
East African Grain Mill Company and its partners are supporting farmers with innovations that promote sustainability and economic growth. Upcoming events include another agribusiness expo at Nakri in central Uganda in August 22nd and 23rd. Abiona Francisco, UBC News.
Minister for Presidency Millie Babalanda has launched the Budiope West Clean Water Project to address water scarcity in the area. The residents used to share water sources with livestock, making this project essential for their health and well-being.
Residents of Budiope West jubilated following the launch, which aims to provide clean water to every household. The initiative will improve health standards in the area. Speaking at a Thanksgiving ceremony organized by Mitiana RDC, Prosi Mwanjuzi, also a native of Budiope West, Millie Babalanda assured the residents of her commitment to address water shortage and the poor condition of local roads. On electricity and poverty alleviation, Honorable Babalanda promised to provide households with chicken and cash to help improve their living standards. State Minister for Lands Dr. Sam Mayanja emphasized his commitment to preventing the eviction of residents from Bibanjas. He instructed local RDC Major Betty Akelo Atekat to collaborate with residents on land issues.
Mobilizing wano ne RDC wano ne omwala wamwe Prose mulete ekiwandiiko mu wiki ga 3 nsubira okulaba Chief Justice ga President bwe yandagira. Nsubira okulaba Chief Justice ku nsonga zino ezitandukanyizibwa kooti mugireete yebeere ku nsonga zimu zengenda okutwala wa Chief Justice.
Major Betty Akelo, representing the RDCs, and Stanley Bayole, the father of Inebantu, RDC of Bumbuli, highlighted the positive impact of parish development model policy in boosting household incomes.
We have those ones who have started fighting us back because we are stepping already on their plates, but I'm standing strong because you have encouraged us to do and to perform our duties as leaders being appointed by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Prosi Mwanjuzi, RDC of Mitiana, who led the event preparation, shared a heartfelt account of escaping robbers, critiquing the Mitiana police for their delayed response despite timely notification.
So when nalemerako era niro ya wange yali ampolerezanga mwe yalemeraku nga ambeererawo bakomenkerezanga loya bamulonge era nga bamwise.
Benon Mukwaya, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
Oh, yeah, lighten up, stay fresh. You wanna come beach, I'll be my get. Lighting, lighting. I did make a lighten up.
Gators Swim Club retained the Uganda Swimming Federation National Swimming Championship title yet again after the club defeated 20 other clubs in the 9th edition of the championships held at Kampala Parents School in Naguru.
Gators Swim Club claimed the overall championship for the boys and girls after collecting 4,655.50 points ahead of Altona Swim Club and Dolphin Swim Club Kampala, who came second and third with 2,906.3 and 2,683.50 points respectively.
I'm excited to
to see this performance. Of course, we feel good about it, but also it brings a great sense of accomplishment. We work throughout the year, work really hard, wake up so early in the mornings, practice every day. So such an award or such an accomplishment is really satisfying.
The 9th edition of the Uganda Swimming Federation National Swimming Championship had 21 clubs overall with over 700 swimmers.
My experience in general has been really good. I believe I've improved because of the training I've been doing at school, and it's also given me the opportunity to swim these 50s that I haven't swum the whole year at school.
My experience at Nationals has been good. I've had a lot of growing moments. I've seen which areas I need to work on, and the stuff I've worked on which has already worked for me. I'm looking forward to the uni experience while swimming, focusing on bigger things like world champs and Olympics one day.
This is the first of a kind where we've actually had 4 days of the athletes competing. This is simply because the numbers have increased. We've had up to approximately 700 athletes. We've looked at athletes making new national records. 50 free swimmers going under 23. That's fast. That's fast. These are Ugandan-based swimmers. Even the girls, even the lower age groups, the 14, 15, going under 27, almost to 26. I mean, any country would tell you that's a faster.
The Minister of State for Sports, Peter Ogwang, who was in attendance, shed some light on what the government is doing to promote the sport of swimming in Uganda. As the president of the Uganda Swimming Federation, Moses Mwase, gave an update of the plans of the federation and the swimmers that will be representing Uganda at this year's Olympics.
The government, under the leadership of Mama the First, is committed in promoting this swimming sport for purpose of promoting the talent of our children. We are going to construct a semi-Olympic swimming pool in Lugogo, as we have the Lugogo project here in Kampala. Construct an Olympic swimming pool in Mandela National Stadium as part of the Mandela Ground project for a sport city in Nambole.
But I think we've seen that different teams won different medals, and that's the whole idea, for us to have trophies for different age categories, different participants, so that there's no concentration. And we also want to ensure that we are compliant with the new law, which requires that we have got country-wide presence in a minimum of 50% of all the districts in Uganda. So as we speak today, we have made nominations for Gloria Muzito and Jesse Sengonzi. They have to be formally approved by World Aquatics and the International Olympic Committee, and they will give us that confirmation by the 3rd of July.
This championship gives swimmers qualification and ranking points for regional events, and this is the 3rd time Geta Swim Club is winning the event, having won in 2022 and 2023. Grace Joyce Kemigisa, UBC News.
Uganda Woodball Federation has hosted its first national team trial ahead of the World Cup to be hosted in China this coming October.
With the sights on better performances at the upcoming Woodball World Cup in China in October, Uganda's national team trials have started at Chambogo University.
We at the Uganda Woodball Federation would like to confirm that we have started the roadmap to have the national team selected for the 9th Woodball World Cup. It's supposed to happen in China in the month of October, from the 15th to the 25th of October. And we like to confirm that we have 16 men and 16 women who are tussling it out to qualify to be among the top 8 men and women who represent the country.
The head coach, Georgie Sabide, selected 32 players that have responded to the team trials and selection exercise with optimism.
I feel excited because it's everyone's goal, at least to play on the national team, so I feel excited, I'm happy.
It will be my first time, but I believe I will leave a mark in China, because I don't want to be seen just as a tourist. Yes.
The players partook of 3 rounds, with Joan Mukova dominating the girls with 178 points, while Prison Woodball Club's Crescent Ranyombia topped the men. Others that played decently included Jackie Naula, Sanyo Mirembe, Apita Daniel, Trevor Oming and Onesma Satamba. Uganda finished second last time out in Thailand.
Badminton has received 5 million Uganda shillings from Bank of Baroda, Uganda, to support the Uganda International Para Badminton Championships.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bank of Baroda always with us for the badminton. So they never tell no any event. All the event they are supporting us. So special thanks to Bank of Baroda.
For us as the badminton and of course of our sponsors, we shall continue to put up the tournaments and to encourage our players to train hard and attain world ranking points and qualify.
Last year I managed to get a bronze and a silver, and I believe this year I'll get more bronzes and silvers because of the training I've been doing.
And I feel I'm really well prepared for this match because I've really got enough train. When my friend called me about this workshop, I wasn't among them, but I'm so grateful that she called me. Now I feel like I'm ready.
That brings us to the end of all we had for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Micheal Lukomwa with Elizabeth Nakakoni and the whole team. Have a good night.
Gold. We all want it. That soft yellow glow of a subdued sun in your hands. That precious polish of elegance. To hold it is one thing, but to taste it is everything else. Relish the satisfying taste of a beer, unmatched in quality, unmatched in consistency, and with 23 Global Gold Awards. A beer unmatched in gold.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Cheers to something refreshingly different. Putting the brakes on a fast-paced world. Slowing down. Just enough to stand out. Cheers to the beer that does it differently. Brewed longer for extra refreshment. Refreshingly Club. Alcohol is not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
Hi, my name is Rachel Nduhujiri and I am a Ugandan actress and the winner of the Africa Monologue Challenge 2023. Now, thanks to your immense support, the Africa Monologue Challenge Season 2 is coming to Uganda between July 25th and August 20th. Africa Monologue Challenge is looking for passionate Ugandan storytellers to take part in a Pan-African short film that will showcase Uganda to the rest of the world. To be a part of this, all you have to do is weave a captivating narrative that captures Uganda's cultural heritage while fostering connections between 10 diverse individuals from 10 African countries. This short film will be shared to over 50 film festivals. Now, to find information on the AMC 2024 finalists, visit www.africamonologue.com. Please submit your short script, which should be 10 pages for a short film between 10 to 15 minutes, to africamonologue@gmail.com before 30th June 2024. Now, let's talk about rewards. The selected script will have the writer's full name in the end credits. You will get a chance to collaborate with amazing filmmakers from all over the world. You will get a small token for your creativity, and you remain with full ownership